Hey YouTube, PJ here, this Dog Pound 24/7. Thanks for tuning into my channel. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead, take the time, hit that subscribe, hit that like, and hit that notification bell for all the latest content being dropped. Thanks for tuning in this morning, you guys. Part 3 of my story, it's finally here. It's truly appreciated. If you're new and you haven't watched part 1 and 2, you can go back into my content, check those out. It'd be truly appreciated. Also, if you'd like to donate to my channel, guys, I'm trying to, upgrade on equipment and build this channel from ground up. All donations would be appreciated. You can do that by going to paypal.com, smashing in Andrews Card Nation 19@gmail.com. All donations are truly appreciated, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Also, you guys see a book up in the left-hand corner of your screen that is written by none other than my man Big JD from Prison Break Raw. This book is phenomenal. You can pick up a copy at Amazon.com for 20 bucks. This is a page turner. I bought my copy and I smashed it out in a few days. This book is phenomenal, guys. What I got from this book, is just when I thought I had it bad, this man went through it, people, and he lived to tell about it, and you guys will not be disappointed, okay? And if you don't know who, my man is, JD, you can go check out his channel at Prison Break Raw. The dude is a solid dude, tells how it is, very honest. This man changed his life completely around, and he's just trying to help the next person. And I admire the fact that he spilled his heart and soul, put his heart and soul into this book. Guys, just check it out. You guys will not be disappointed. Okay, The Laughing Boy, Amazon.com. So people, let's get right into this. Part 3 of my story. As you know, we left off in part 2. My man Christian overdosed on heroin, and Kevin went to jail. So me and Marcy, are starting to, become an item, at that time, if that's what you want to call it. So let's pick, at this point in my life, people, it is very depressing. And I'm very in denial about my habit, and my family is starting to shut the door on me. I felt very vulnerable at this part of my life, and very misled. I'm like going down the wrong path completely and not looking back. So I would like to talk on at this time with my family. Okay, my family, they showed they cared still. But when I would go to my family's house, they were just acting totally different towards me. They didn't know how to handle me. And prime example, if I'd go to my mother's house, I could not leave the room without being followed, and I'd pick up on that. I would say something on that, and they would be like, Paul, you know why? And I'd be in denial. I'd be getting all defensive and trying to deny what they're accusing me of, and I'd be the one getting mad at them when it's pretty much the other way around. So that's just, I quit going around eventually. I just didn't feel welcomed, and that's not their fault, that's my fault, but that's not how I looked at it at the time. I thought they were being the assholes, and I was just totally not on them. It's just totally on me. So but when you're in that state of mind and strung out on drugs, it's everybody else's fault but your own. You want to be the victim. You want people to feel sorry for you. And that's just how it is. It's with all addicts. It's me. That's pretty much it. So, at that time, I was depressed about that. I just felt like my family didn't give a shit about me no more. And, that's not what the case was. It's just me being a scumbag. It's the only word I can really use on that. So, everything just felt like the world was coming, down around me, and so I just did more and more drugs and drink. That's all I did. It got so bad. What I was doing, we were drinking every day. We were doing heroin every day, and it was so out of control. And if all you guys are wondering how I was getting all this alcohol and heroin and all this stuff, dude, I was boosting my ass off. Okay, I was going I'd hit every Walmart, every Dick's Sporting Goods from here, Kingdom Come, Western New York. I was just killing it. Okay, mind you, in my previous video, I believe I touched up on I was boosting golf clubs. Okay, $300, $400 golf clubs, big Bertha drivers. Those things are like, I remember at the time they were like anywhere from $300 to $400. I get $150 a person or a pop on them. I would take those to this guy, this pawn shop that I knew. I could take it to him on Clockwork any time of the night. If I had more than 2 of them, he would meet me. I could wake him up. Because he was killing it on eBay with these. So I was killing it with those box set DVDs. That's pretty much what I was doing. Supporting the habit. With the liquor, I was hitting off liquor stores all over the place. You know, I would go in, buy a cheap bottle of liquor, and I'd just pop, a bottle or 2 of Jack Daniels down my pants. And, dude, we kill a bottle of Jack in no time. It was just every night we were polishing off the bottles, okay? That's all we did. But it got so bad, okay? Got so bad to the point I got sick. Sicker than hell. I put myself in the hospital, people. This is what I did, okay? I drank myself to the point where my body was shutting down. Alright? I was so dehydrated. Like, I was so sick that if I took a sip of water or tried to eat something, I'd instantly throw it up. Okay, my body wouldn't take it or digest or anything like that. Okay, because I was so dehydrated, and I mean, it was crazy. Eventually Marcy said, "You got to go to the hospital, Paul. You're very sick. You got to go to the hospital because I hate going to the hospital." So eventually I ended up going to the hospital. Right when I get to the hospital, they give me a cup to piss in. Told me to go piss in this cup, and it looked like I was pissing straight motor oil. Okay, that's how bad it was. So dark, my urine, because from being so dehydrated. And they told me that you have to stop this to yourself, people. Or Paul, you gotta. They're telling me you gotta stop. Your body's shutting down. You're gonna end up killing yourself or getting really sick, whatever. So they ended up hooking me up to an IV, threw a couple bags of fluids in me, and boy, let me tell you, I felt like $1 million afterwards. Like I felt like a brand new me. And what do you think I did that night when I left the hospital? Went back and started doing the same thing over again. So mind you, this is going on every day, boosting, it was just insanely crazy, hectic, fucking partying lifestyle every day. But we had something coming up, all right? Marcy, mind you, she gets these Social Security checks, okay? She gets, I don't know what it was exactly, I think $800 a month, and she would get these in the mail monthly, okay? And she got these checks because her father was locked up in prison. She had no mother. So she got these Social Security checks. So she was supposed to get one more, okay? I think it was one more until she was 21 or something. And that's what happened. We had this big idea that she was going to spend this whole check on nothing but heroin, okay? And we're just going to have this big party sitting around doing dope all night. That was the idea, all right? So we're, up until this is going on, that's what we're doing. We're partying at the house. People in and out of the house all the time. People were showing up every day that I didn't even never seen before. It was just crazy, people. It was just nuts. And, this one kid, Jason, he started coming around all the time. And, like clockwork, he'd come there every day, spend hours at our house every day. And we're wondering, I remember thinking to myself, what the hell, all of a sudden this kid just starts coming around. I remember I never liked him. There's something about him I did not like about, he's like an ignorant kid, and I just remember. But he was hanging around, every day, and we thought that was weird at the time, looking back. And, it's crazy. So, on the morning of this check, because this kid will tie into my story later. So, we ended up going to get this check the morning of. The check was supposed to be in the mailbox. So, we go pick it up. Alright, mine just is like 8:30 in the morning. We go pick up her check, go cash it. And there's 4 of us. We're going to ride up to this city, go buy all this heroin, come back, and we're just going to party our balls off. Do heroin all night. Sounds like fun, right, guys? Yeah. Unbelievable. Sounds so ridiculous. So, when we're on the way up to this city, okay, I'm driving. Right? I drive pretty fast if I don't have any drugs in the car or anything like that. I'm doing about 75, 80, in and out of traffic, and I noticed this SUV is following us, okay? If I slowed down, he slowed down. He stayed, quite a ways back, but he was following us. Anytime I passed cars, he was passing cars. We were being followed. None other than the police, okay? So we're kind of paranoid about that. We're saying, oh, fuck it, we'll lose him up in the city. So when that was said, not only because Jason came with us, it was me, Jason, Al, and Marcy, okay, going to get all this heroin. It was funny. Jason said, "Fuck him. Don't get caught speeding. Don't, fuck him. They can't do shit. We have nothing on us." He was just acting weird, saying weird shit. I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but it was really odd. Like, he was just pretty much trying to, encourage me to, like, not, like, be so paranoid on it, I guess. Like, the things he was saying, like, fuck them, you know what I mean? Like, don't worry about them. They can't do shit. Like, so trying to, because every time I said I'm going to lose him in the city, he would say something out, like, trying to steer me away from doing something like that. It was odd as fuck, and I'm like, that's fucking really odd, but anyway, you don't think anything of it. So we ended up getting up to the city, Avenue D, Rochester, New York. That was heroin capital at the time. We ended up getting out. Marcy gets out of the car, and she goes into this house because the guy we were buying it from, we knew him real well. That's our main dealer. So she went in the house. She ended up coming out with like 8 or 9 bundles, people. For bundles, 8 or 9 bundles. All right, a bundle is 10 to 12 bags of heroin. Depends on where you're at. Usually it's 10, but some guys throw 12 in them. That's a bundle of dope. All right. So we got crazy amount of heroin on us. So we're really, really paranoid. We ended up doing a bag or two when we first got it, and I had an idea of where I was gonna hide it. I seen it in a movie before. Yes, so I put this. I'll never forget. I seen a movie. I can't think of the damn movie where they hid their drugs in the underneath. Where I'm gonna tell you where I hid them. So we ended up getting like this Tops parking lot, McDonald's parking lot, Plaza area, and where everybody goes and does it. Everybody that I know that gets high in Western New York and cops in Rochester, that's the go get high parking lot. Okay, so we all do it, and it's kind of funny. I'm in the car. I get out of the car, and I notice the goddamn SUVs in the Tops parking lot. Tops is a grocery store. It's for those that don't know, it's a grocery store parking lot. And that SUV was there watching us, probably about a good 100 yards away. Yes, I know I gotta quit these. So they're about 100 yards away, and I get out, and I get back in the car, and I'm like, that fucking SUV's over here. How the fuck did they find it? Because I lost them in the city. I blew red lights and, whatever, lost them. Alright? Never seen them. So how the fuck do they know where, I lost them a long time ago. How the hell do they know where we're at? So we started fooling ourselves, trying to convince it, not to worry. So this is what I did. I get out of the car, I get in the trunk, I get a quart of oil out of the trunk, act like I'm putting oil in the car. Okay, they couldn't see what I was so much doing because they were parked, over, had the hood up, they couldn't see, so they were over there. So I wrapped up the heroin and I put it in underneath the windshield washer fluid, where you dump your windshield washer fluid, and I crammed it in there, in between there, so none of us had it on us in the car. The only way they're gonna find it is if they get a dog. So we know we can't go back to Warsaw, where we live, the town we're at, and we know we can't go back there with all this. So we're paranoid. We're gonna change the plans. Mind you, we got a lot of people waiting for us back at home, to chill out and, live it up back there. So we decided we're going to go to Canandaigua, which is the suburbs of Rochester. Marcy, it's friends of Marcy's father that live out there, and she knows them. So we'll go there, spend the day there. So that's what we did, people. As we were there, we're trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do. Marcy's very, very paranoid. Like, I can't go back there with all this. And, of course, Al and Jason, they have nothing to lose. They're not possessing it. So they're like, fuck, they're not going to fucking do nothing. Let's just go. Fuck them. This, that, and the third. And Al spoke up. We can go up to my house instead of going back home. So that's what we did. We ended up leaving. We get back to Warsaw. We did not notice we were being followed at this time by any car. We haven't seen that SUV since we left the city. So we get up to Al's house. Alright. We're all hanging out. People start showing up. We let them know where we're at. So they start showing up. We got about 8 to 10 people in this room, okay? It was crazy. We're all around faded, have the tunes on, and just getting fucked up every now and then, doing a bag of dope, just chilling, alright? There's nothing crazier than a room full of junked out people. Let me tell you. It is the most lamest shit ever you imagine. Anybody that's bombed on heroin, He's sitting there like this, hi, hey, just small conversations. It's fucking crazy when I look back at it. But anyway, guess who comes walking in the door of the bedroom? Christian, the kid that overdosed. He ends up showing up. We haven't seen him, pretty much since this happened. All right. He ends up showing up at Al's house with this other kid. I can't even tell you his name. Only seen him a couple times. And everybody's like, holy shit, Christian, this and that. Mind you, this kid has permanent brain damage for the rest of his life, okay? He still knows what's going on. He still, what it did was from the overdose, it fucked his speech up, all right? He can't speak totally normal. It's hard to explain. It's kind of slurred speech and like he can't say certain words properly, stuff like that. That's what it did to him. So when you know it, he's dipping and dabbing back into the heroin again. All right, this kid could not handle his drugs. Period. All right, so we're all getting high, and we ended up giving him some, as in we. I'm saying we, but there was one person that literally gave it to him. I'm just saying we did, and when you know it, after probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes, he is out. When I say out, he's doing this. His lips started turning blue again. Like, his breathing was shallow. We started panicking again. We can't fucking believe this. And everybody's blaming everybody for it. We're like, you shouldn't have gave it. So we're paranoid as fuck. We don't know what to do. This kid's fucking apparently overdosing again. This kid, he obviously had to have already been doing heroin that day or just before he came there, because one bag, I've seen this kid do one bag of dope many, many times before, okay? And all of a sudden he's out, not with it. So I've done so much heroin, I popped out the screen of Al's bedroom window. I was getting sick. When you do so much heroin, I mean, eventually sometimes, okay, you want to throw up. It makes you nauseous as hell, all right? Eventually, once you've been doing it for a very long time, you won't throw up from eventually. But remind you, I haven't been doing dope that long, all right, in reality. So, but I was getting sick. I pop out his window, and I start throwing up out his window. Just projectile, just crazy, giving you the sound effects there. So as I'm puking out his window after I'm done, just sitting there seeing if I have to throw up anymore, I noticed the black SUV is parked in the fucking road. You wouldn't fucking believe it, right? I'm like, holy shit. That's exactly what I said. I remember as clear as day. And people are like, what's going on? I'm like, that SUV's out fucking side, right? Like, what do you mean it's outside? What do you mean? Al's like, what do you mean it's outside my fucking house? Because mind you, we're at his parents' house, all crammed into his bedroom, a bunch of us. So now we're all fucking paranoid. We got the cops outside. We got a kid that's apparently overdosing again. We're panicking. Can't take this kid to the hospital because we've already brought him to the hospital once when he overdosed, and they were already fucking, onto us about that. That's probably why they're onto us now still, tracking us, following us, because of that incident. So now he's apparently overdosing again. Now we're all panicking. What the fuck to do? So we know we can't stay there. We got to get the fuck out of there. So we get everybody together. We're all gonna. There's probably like 3 fucking vehicles up at this house. We all pile into the vehicles. But before we leave, Marcy's paranoid about having it on her, getting pulled over, getting knocked with. So I did the same thing. I feel like I was putting fucking oil back in the car, checking the oil and shit. Put it back in the same place. So we end up going down to the house. We're like, fuck it. We'll just go home. And sorry about that, fucking bug or something. So we end up going down to the house. And when we get down there, we all go into the house. We're all paranoid. We don't know what to do. We got this kid. We pretty much had to carry Christian to the fucking car into the house. This kid can't walk on his own. He's coherent, but he's not. He's like in that nature. That stage. But wouldn't you know, after 15, 20 minutes of fucking sitting in there, just not knowing what to do, the fucking door gets blasted open, kicked in. About 15 to 20 cops come running up in there, guns drawn, plain clothes, state troopers, sheriffs, local town cops, you name it. They come flying in the fucking apartment, guns blazing, and everybody get on the floor. Mind you, Christian's overdosing on the borderline, if not overdosing. They rip him off the chair. I'll never forget this. Rip him off the chair, throw him on the floor, and the kid whacked his head so fucking hard. I remember hearing it to this day. Crazy. And we're all like, what the fuck you doing? That kid's not with. They're like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. It was crazy. Mind you, I had a foot on my back, fucking gun in the back of my fucking head. Just, everybody, don't shut the fuck up, don't move. Everybody fucking, crazy. It's pandemonium, dude. I'm like, holy shit, I do not believe this is fucking happening right now. I fucking remember, like, just fucking talking crazy shit to the cops, telling them, get the fucking foot off my fucking back. Fucking scumbag, we have nothing. What the fuck you guys doing? And, dude, we're in there on the floor for about a good fucking 10 minutes, right? Fucking crazy shit. So, I'm like, this is not happening right now. Like, what the fuck? So, I'm not paranoid, because none of us have nothing on us, alright? Everything's still in the car, underneath the hood. They're fucking, where's the fucking drugs that we know? They're fucking in here. They're fucking ransacking everything. Shit is crazy. So they end up taking us out to the cars by one, fucking two of us to a cop car. I ended up put in the same cop car as Druggy Doggy. And we're sitting in there. About 10 minutes sitting in that cop car, we noticed they started fucking about 4 of them go over to our cars. Alright? They go in the car, and they pop the hood of the car, and they fucking put the hood up. I'm like, oh my fucking god. And Dougie's like, what? Because he didn't know that's where we were hiding it. And like they know where the fuck we hid the fucking shit. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's where we hid the shit. And what do you know? They fucking see him. They pull out the cloth, unwrap. They found the fucking shit. So right there, I knew somebody was fucking telling. All right, nobody's gonna find that without a dog. All right, it's just not happening. I knew that in my head. I'm like, somebody's fucking telling. Somebody told. Somebody fucking knows. It only could have been 4 of the fucking people that knew where I hid that shit. All right, they found that within seconds of opening that hood. So I know it was either Al, Jason, or Marcy, or myself. And I know I wasn't fucking telling. I know Marcy wasn't fucking telling. It had to have been Al or Jason. So, that's what I'm thinking. They bring us all down to the police station. They fucking all put us in different rooms by twos. And we're down there, dude. I'm not even kidding you. We sat down there for about 5 fucking hours, dude. Well, they just ransacked that house. I mean, they flipped it upside down looking for shit. And everybody, when we're sitting down there, everybody's like not, like, I don't know what you say, like not stressed out, because they don't think they're found. Because me and Dougie are the only ones they know they found the shit. Okay, they don't know. I don't think anybody at this point knows. So they're not thinking they found. Because I can hear people saying, like, that they have down there, like, oh, you guys ain't finding shit. They ain't finding shit. Meanwhile, they did find shit. And I didn't want to yell it because how we were separated. I didn't want to yell it to everybody. So you know what I mean. I didn't want to yell that out. So they ended up fucking pulling me into a room to question me. Alright, eventually, after 4 or 5 hours of sitting down there. And you know how the police work. It was straight to interrogation. Fucking, who bought the dope? Who bought it? We know, so you might as well tell us. Fucking this, that, and the third. I kept saying, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They kept threatening me they're going to put me in jail. And I kept telling them, for what? Arrest me. Do what you got to do, because I'm not telling you shit. And shit. And that's what just kept going on. So I honestly thought I was going to jail. For what, I don't know. What the hell? Sorry about that fucking beat. And yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to jail, and fucking, because they found the shit. And Marcy ends up, I've seen walking by the room. She's fucking straight handcuffs, because we're all at handcuffs now, and she had her cuffs off. Now she's walking by straight in handcuffs. I seen it. So she ends up later finding out she's going to jail, right? She got booked on possession, intent to sell, all that good shit. And they tried to hit her with this weird charge for Christian overdosing. And I'm trying to think of what it was. It's like a weird wording for it, the penal code. I can't remember what it was, but they tried it. It was not a good felony. It was like a B felony, and they hit her with a bunch of C's. And so I'm fucked. She's going up shit creek without a paddle. So that after all that shit, they all hit us with just possession of marijuana tickets. It's the only thing they hit us with. They ended up charging Marcy with that fucking heroin. Now I'm paranoid that they're gonna fucking fingerprint the fucking bag and all that shit and get my prints off it as well. Because I've never been really arrested, and dealt with the law. I didn't really know how shit works, but I was paranoid. So that's what happened, people. That's where we're gonna leave off with this part 3 after the raid. And I wanted to put in there about Christian. They ended up bringing him to the hospital, and he was released later that night. So he was fine, not fine, but he was on the verge of probably fucking dying again. But yeah, that's where we're at. And you're gonna find out in part 4 who the rat is. All right, you're gonna find out who the rat is. It'll fucking surprise you. And if I can dig it up, I think I have it, and I have the actual statements for you guys to see. And I'll dig those out for part 4 of the video, because I kept all my paperwork, and plus Marcy gave me a bunch of her shit years ago. So I do actually have statements from that. I'm going to try digging them out to show you guys. But yeah, you're going to find out the rat is going to fucking surprise you, okay? I'm going to put that. There was actually 2 rats, but the one is going to really surprise you. So that'll be in part 4. So at this point, people, we're going to pick up in part 4. My life's fucked up. I know I'm fucked. I have to get the hell out of Warsaw. Because shit was getting crazy. Marcy's locked up. And, this whole time she's locked up, I'm visiting her and, bringing her stuff. You already know what I'm talking about. Being a scumbag. And just, living the crazy life. But that's where we're going to leave off. If you guys have any comments, please leave them below, and I'll answer all questions. If you feel, I need to touch up on something I mentioned, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Yeah, just at this point, everything's getting fucking nuts. So, just crazy. It's just crazy. It's not a way to live, let me tell you. It's very, very, very stressful, okay? And it's just crazy. And I'm lucky to be alive, and I know that this time because I was doing a lot, and I mean a lot of shit. At this time, at that time of my life, and it gets worse. It gets worse. Just if you guys think this is, kind of crazy, it gets 10 times worse than this. Later on in the life story. Believe me when I tell you, I was capable of anything. When I tell you, when I mean anything. So I'm gonna leave off with that, people. As you can see, that book. Go grab that book at Amazon.com. Also, go check out his channel, Prison Break Raw. And people, if you already haven't, hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that notification bell. Please, people, hit that like button. We'll go on a journey together. Get this channel cranking. And you know how I end this, people. Stay free, safe, and corona free. Until next time, see ya.